What's up, y'all? We're back with another episode of Ready to Love, Make a Move. We're on season 1, episode 3. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. Let's talk about this thing over here in New Orleans. So the ladies are still in the kitchen fighting. At the end of the day, Zadi was probably a little inconsiderate, and because I could see her saying, "Open the door," like, you know what I mean? Not necessarily rude, just inconsiderate. Like, girl, you woke me up at 7:30. You could be on your please and thank you, but I think Zadia rarely is on her please and thank you. So Sharice, being the prude that she is, you get what you get, girl. Zadia, you called Sharice's phone. You should have already knew to expect, the drama queen. Sharice is putting 20 on 10. She's probably a little jealous because this girl met somebody and had a sunrise to sunset, all up in the morning, all night long with this cute boy. Don't be a hater, Sharice. We're on to the next day. Blind dates. 2 guys, 4 women. That means 2 of y'all are going on a date with the same guy. So the first date is Ashley. Ashley and Zadia are both going on a date with Kirsten. Kirsten is 38. He's an ex-NFL player and an entrepreneur. You know how I feel about that word, entrepreneur. I need more. I don't know what you do, bro. I wish people would just say like what they do, because entrepreneur is not a job. It just means you don't work, like a regular 9 to 5. What I do is considered independent contractor. It's a little different from an entrepreneur, but I, determine my salary, so not that different. Anyway, Ashley gets to the date. She's immediately too excited and telling this man how handsome he is and how excited she is to meet him. He got her feeling like a kid at Chick-fil-A trying to play on playground all day. And they're having a good time. They're having a kiki, but again, Ashley is very animated and she's a lot. So it seems to be a lot of laughing and engaging going on between the 2 of them. I can't tell, like, the date seems like a good day, but I can't tell if it's because, Ashley's probably very funny. She was on, her comedic, tour, it seems like. I think Ashley does a lot of that it's a facade, because on one hand she's being extra funny, and on the other hand, like, she's somewhere emotionally breaking down to tears. So she's just far too, like, I'm gonna say hot and cold. I'm gonna say it like that. Anyway, his date with Zadia was a little bit different because Zadia's energy is very much lower. Everybody's energy is lower than Ashley, but I think Zadia, it makes it difficult for her to engage with some people. I mean, at the end of the day, her and Cameron didn't have no problems engaging with one another. So I shouldn't say it like that either. They clicked, and I think Zadia would much rather be on a date with Cameron. She wasn't open to going out with Kirsten in the first place. Then Kirsten comes in and he's staring at her, not saying anything. Now Kirsten switched his shirt. He had on a pink shirt with Ashley and a blue shirt with Zadia. So I don't know if this was the same day. Seemed like it would be a lot of food to be eaten, you know what I'm saying, from one date to the next. And he said, we're going to eat these people food. So, you know what I'm saying? Now, his energy was just completely different with Zadia. And I think, Zadia makes it a little more challenging to communicate. You ain't got to say nothing to Ashley. All you got to do is show up, and she's going to put on a show. Maybe his brain is scrambled. If it's the same day, maybe he is just like on to the next one, and now, he's mentally drained. I don't know. The conversation of kids came up with both women. Ashley says she don't know if she want to have kids because she's scared. She's scared that her back is gonna be big and she's gonna be, stretched out of shape. I don't know about her back being big. I do know that just because this is the way, things work, Ashley, the older you wait to have children, the harder it is it's gonna be to lose the weight. Like, are you talking about, I think Ashley's like 36, 37, like, can a 22-year-old lose weight much faster than a 37-year-old? Yep. And by the time you're 45, it's going to be that much harder, unless you take care. I had a late baby. My last one was at 38. So I don't know. It didn't feel old. I was in good shape, and there you go. So Ashley looked like she in good shape. I think she worried about the wrong thing. Listen, Ashley works with children. Ashley like to be down to the Chick-fil-A all day long, playing as long as as her mama say she can, with some nuggets and some sriracha sauce. So I think Ashley would be a great mom, because Ashley is dying to ooze her love into something. She just needs the right man for that. I already told you, this ain't what I see for Ashley. I don't know about Kirsten. When they said ex-NFL, I was kind of already off of him, but And Zadia is over here trying to gift a baby to someone, perhaps, maybe. Just say you don't want to have children. That sounds weird. What are we gifting a baby to someone for? Didn't that girl do that on Ready to Love, try to give somebody a baby, and then the man left and left the gift behind and didn't come back? That's not a thing. Stop saying that. Where did that come from? You're not gifting anybody a baby. Either you want to be a mother or you don't. I'm just saying, because y'all sound crazy saying that shit. You gonna end up somewhere, gift Cameron a baby and see if he don't take his global ass somewhere and you be looking for him. I'm just saying. So now we have Walter. Walter is a 46-year-old musician. He's going on a date with Vernicia and with Charisse. Him and Vernicia go on a cooking date. Walter got a vest on, child. Be careful, Walter, because Charisse don't like a vest. So I hope you don't wear that over there on her date. Vernicia and Walter have a good rapport. They have a little cooking date. Vernicia knows how to be very flirtatious and warm. I don't think she was really feeling that type of way towards Walter. I think she was just practicing. Okay, she needs to use her feminine wiles on somebody she likes. I do think she enjoyed Walter. I just don't think there was any real chemistry between the two. She said that she's usually the one that does the cooking, so she's happy to meet somebody that knows how to cook. Maybe they could take the weight off. And I'm gonna tell you, as the mother of the house, it would be so awesome to have someone who loved to cook. That would be amazing. So yeah, Vernicia, he definitely should get points for that. She talked about relocating. Walter's a musician, so, and he named, like, he name dropped a few people. I don't remember who he named, Lil Wayne and somebody else. He's seemingly successful at being a musician. She asked him about relocating. Because obviously if she lives in Houston and he lives in New Orleans, the premise of the show is for her to relocate. I feel like maybe not. I'm just saying. I think maybe not. I don't like the idea of relocating for love. I don't care whose version it is. I think there needs to be more, because that honeymoon phase wear out, and then you find out you hate the city you in. So hopefully, if you're relocating to somewhere, it's somewhere that you want to be, whether you're in this relationship or not. Walter and Charisse go on a horse and carriage ride. He did not wear a vest. She says she likes the way he's dressed, but that's probably because she didn't get to see him on that other day. He did change clothes though, because Kirsten over here just switched his shirt. He didn't bother, like he took them pants. I was like, I'm not finna waste these pants. I only wore them once for a little while. I'm gonna wear them again. Um, Walter said he had been married for 19 years and he liked it, but it didn't work out. I know we're just getting to know Walter, and so there's no point in finding out what had happened with him and his 19-year marriage that didn't work out. I did not hear him say he had any children. She didn't ask. She doesn't ask a whole lot of questions. She has a lot of requirements of Maurice over here to talk to her, but it looked to me like Walter was doing all the talking and Charisse was just saying, really. Now, this explains why when her and Maurice get together that there's no conversation happening, because neither one of them really have nothing to say. Walter really carried that date. So they had a seemingly good time. It's funny because Walter was like, he don't be judgmental. He don't care about like what the girl like physicality is. He doesn't care if she's a plus size or, medium size. For him is not an issue. And then Cherie walked up and he was like, "Oh, I like her body stats type." I mean, she's got a nice figure. I'm not mad at that. And her yellow dress, they love a good yellow dress now. Keep the man's eyes on you. Ask Zadia. Anyway, I felt like the date was kind of boring, honestly, because we didn't learn anything about Cherie, except for the same thing that she always says, is that she likes somebody's outfit. It seems like, I mean, when him and Vernisha were engaging with each other, we did learn that she likes to cook and she's usually cooking, and it would be nice to have. Oh, we did learn something from Cherie. Cherie says she's looking for a man to sweep her off her feet. So Charisse goes on a picnic with Walter. Walter got a little nice setup out in the, park somewhere. It's cute or whatever. He's got a little basket with some strawberries and some cheese, a little wine, something going on. Um, it was really cute. They sat down, and 5 minutes in, the conversation was over, and they was just doing a bunch of eating and saying, She asked him questions. Actually, she didn't ask him questions. She asked him to ask her questions. He said he already found out everything he want to know. He prefers to, observe a person because he feels like that's how you get to know someone, by observing. And so they sat there eating strawberries and not saying much and, being boring. Good thing he wore them Louis Vuitton shoes, because she did take notice to his shoes. She said, "I see you like Louis Vuitton." And then we panned down to his perfectly pedicured toes. "Yes, child," he said, "he likes nice things." She said, "Me too." And I think he likes nice things for himself. That doesn't mean like that he's gonna be spending it on you, Charisse. Mr. I'm looking for somebody to sweep me off my feet. She keeps saying she's tired and she's ready to do things. I'm ready to do the things that people do when they get to a certain level. What are you doing now? What do you do for fun and entertainment, Charisse? I'm just saying, people be so focused on living the life they're trying to get to, and they're missing out on the life they at. Girl, you 44. When are you going to start living your life? What level is it you're trying to get to? And I feel like you should stop waiting on somebody to sweep you off your feet. What's your plan for living your life in this moment right now so you can enjoy the things in life? And then when you run into somebody that's on the same pathway as you, that just makes it all the better. Sweep you off your feet. I personally prefer to stay sure-footed so I don't get caught up. So I don't need to be swept off my feet. Now we can run down this road together and you can make the load a little lighter. But you got to be careful about being swept off your feet, girl. That means you're going to fall on your ass. Charisse is so surface and superficial that she's willing to keep a man around. Now, see, Walter showed up and he's a musician, he's an artist, so he got a little flavor, so he can put something together to give you a vibe. And then you don't know, like you can't hunt for labels. You don't know what kind of shirt it was because it was just a white shirt. So it could have been a J.C. Penney shirt, or it could have been a Gucci shirt. You don't know because it's just a plain white shirt. He didn't need, to flash for you. He came with a lot of personality and conversation. Good thing he did, because you didn't offer much in terms of that. But what did Maurice bring? Maurice brought a silk shirt that sweated under the underarms while he laid out in the sun on the picnic, and some Louis Vuitton sandals. I think Maurice is used to flossing. I bet you he got a fly ass car. I probably would have just, since he wasn't talking, Sharice, I would have probably filled up my glass of wine, lay back on that blanket, said all kind of inappropriate things to this man to entertain myself with just before I give him the boot. I don't really care about what kind of sandals he's going on, but I would have enjoyed at least entertaining myself by, making this man uncomfortable. So Zadia takes a moment to try to make amends with Sharice. She apologizes for waking her up in the whole nine, and Sharice don't want to hear it. She said, she don't tolerate lying. And I'm like, tolerate lying, girl? Who owes you an explanation? Sharice is just hell-bent on staying at odds with this girl. So they said the energy has shifted because of the little tension between the two of them. Zadia tries to make amends, and Sharice, she want to keep the fight going. I don't even think she knows what she's fighting about at this point. It's weird. Sharice is very much stuck on, you were trying to keep a secret and I exposed your secret. And girl, I'm grown as I stayed outside all night with that man, and I needed you to open the door in the morning. Like, I don't even understand at this point, Zadia. Let the shit go. Let the bitch be a bitch, because that's what she's gonna be, a bitch by herself. But she's used to it. So we have a little double date situation with Alex, Ashley, Zadia, Cameron, and Donald. Cameron shows up first. Him and Zadia still have that same energy where they make each other smile. She said he makes her feel like a woman. So right now they're definitely in a good place. She's enjoying dating him. I feel like at the end of the day, listen, if you have somebody you connect with, it's going to be hard for somebody else to like move in and get into that particular space where you want people with their hands on you. He awfully close today. So I don't know what happened between last episode and this episode, but last time he couldn't even touch her back. Now they leaned all up in each other's space cheesing again. But I like it. I want Zadia to, soften up a bit. Maybe it's not in her, and maybe he doesn't require that. I feel like different people bring different things out in you, so it's easy to sit here and spectate these people on a date and say what you think they should be. But there was a point where he said she looks nice and she didn't say nothing. Now I don't know if she was just speechless or again just considerate. It's hard to tell with Zadia. Actually having an issue with Donald because he texted her 2 days ago and then she hasn't heard from him since. He said he was texting her. She said she didn't get it. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. I feel like when you first meet somebody and you like them, there's not 2 days that goes by without texting, not right away, especially, and this is a dating situation. But I feel like when you first meet someone and you have that feeling about them, there's every day you look forward to hearing from that person. Usually it's several times a day. It don't start dwindling down until y'all getting to know each other. And then, you're like, wait a minute. That after 30, 60 days and then, nigga get complacent. But you can't be getting complacent already, Donald. Ashley was feeling Kirsten, so at this point, I can't tell if she's just blowing Donald off because of Kirsten. But if that's the case, then blow his ass off and move along. Kirsten ain't the one, but you might as well spend some time doing something else rather than wasting time with someone you know is not it. And Donald is too young. I already said he's not. It's not him. And Ashley takes a whole lot of patience, and I don't think he has it. That's why I said I see her with somebody older, and just somebody older, not too old, but over 40, I feel like, and somebody who appreciates all that energy because it's so much, and Donald can't handle it. He a young man, and he don't know what to do with all that, and I don't think that most people know what to do with all that, to be honest. She confronted him about it, and things got weird for a minute, but Ashley is such a positive personality that they went on and did their date. But um Ashley, okay, so the first guy saw a yellow dress. She wasn't into it. This time he didn't text her in 2 days. I feel like under normal circumstances, like I feel like that's a sign. That's a red flag. That means he really ain't stressed about talking to you. However, if he texts you twice and you did not respond, then he's taking the cue that you ain't trying to talk to him. So Ashley, you got to look at it that way too, because if he showed you the text and you don't have them, clearly something got lost in translation. If you're looking at his phone, he sent a text. So that's why I said I think maybe she's leaning more towards Kirsten, because it's one thing to be mad in a moment, and then when you see that, it's not actually what you thought it was, you should feel differently. You should feel right back to where you were with Donald, because he didn't do what you thought he did. So I don't know. On to the next girl. So Jabari and Vernisha go on another date. She said this is their second date. So, I'm sure the dates are different than those little get-togethers over at the house where they decide who goes and who stays. So they go back and forth a little bit about how her date was, and he's a good sport about it. But I mean, this is only their second date, so what is he gonna do? Then they get into the good conversation. They start talking about, he said he can't cook. She told him she went on a cooking day. He said he can't cook, and he asked her if she's into gender roles. Then he said, a woman supposed to do this and a man supposed to do that. Jabari, suppose, not supposed to. We ain't supposed to. Child, we too old to be supposed to. We supposed to. That's what we're supposed to do. She definitely is a somewhat, it's hard to be having these traditional values when you're a single woman taking care of everything, being a true boss. So I'm sure that the idea of gender roles sounds good. Like, it would be nice to have this life where you come, your husband, man, partner, whatever, however y'all get down, is, not sweeping you off your feet, but taking the load off so you don't have to be the boss all the time. And I think that's what she's looking for. Then they get into a discussion of money, and she's an entrepreneur. She said there's no cap on how much money she makes. And he said he's got a job for, he works, he's a 9 to 5. Well, I don't know 9 to 5, but he has a job. He's not an entrepreneur. So there is a ceiling, there is a cap on how much he can make. And he asked her if she had a number. And I feel like she says she wants to be able to maintain the lifestyle that she's living on her own. I don't think that's too much to ask. I think it has more to do with, to me, are y'all interested in doing the same things? Like, at this point in your life, she did mention that she wants to travel. So are you in a position where we can work together to go abroad and go see some of these places, that I have not seen yet? It's about what, I don't know that it's about a dollar amount. Does Jabari, is he self-sufficient and live on his own and not have a roommate? Because if that's the case, then You know this man is capable of taking care of himself, and then you won't have to worry about taking care of him. But if he has a job and he's not an entrepreneur, Vernicia, he's not gonna be able to relocate, girl. He's gonna have to stay where he is, and you're the one that's gonna have to relocate yourself to New Orleans. So those are the things to take into consideration. I don't know. It's real cute to be attracted to someone and want to get a little bit closer. But you have to, at this point, and they're both in their 40s, that he has a daughter in college. She has a daughter in college. She also has two still at home that are teenage. So there's certain limits to what she's going to be able to do anyway. But I feel like is the goal the same? The dollar amount it is what it is. But like I said, if Jabari is self-sufficient and living on his own, that shouldn't be an issue. The ladies meet up with Tamika for a recap and, let her know like how the dates went. Ashley enjoyed Kirsten. He's giving Donald a run for his money. Zadia is into Cameron. She's not into Kirsten, so it's not an issue. Honestly, I think it's kind of whack to set them up on dates like with the same guy at the same time, even if they recycle and be like, this time, like, if it's somebody that they threw away, you know what I mean? If it's somebody that didn't work out, then you go, okay, no, well, maybe we'll switch it up and go with this person. They already got tension in the room just because Sharice is there. And I'm going to leave it like that. But, there's no reason to just to be having them competing. I feel like over at the regular Ready to Love, it always be like, we don't want a Janelle and Lee situation. Even though Lee wasn't competing, I just feel like two women, one man. Let's don't do that. There's 25 men. Let's don't like put them where they're going to be competing with each other. It just so happened things worked out this time, but I don't want to see that. It's just annoying, especially when nobody's going to get with anybody anyway. Like, let's be real. So now we have to decide who leaves and who stays. Zadia and Cameron have a little conversation. It's easy to see that they, at this point, have a decent connection. I actually like how Zadia is when she's with Cameron. She's very soft and smiling like a genuine smile, because Zadia seems like a hard nut to crack. You know what I'm saying? And definitely like has grown since we've seen her last. I'm gonna give her that. She's definitely presenting differently than she did before. Even her like vibe in the house with the ladies is not, except for Sharice. But I feel like Sharice came there to go after Zadia, so that's a setup right there. So yeah, her and Cameron are gonna move forward. Vernicia. Vernicia wasn't feeling Walter the way she's feeling Jabari. It's easy to see that there's a connection between the two of them. I don't know, though. I just don't know. I feel like, and this was just a second date. So I want to see what Jabari really, what he's really looking for. Because I don't know. Like, I don't know that he just doesn't seem all the way serious. Maybe that's what it is. He's a socializer, and it feels like he's socializing. He does like her, but yeah, she's a beautiful woman, and I think he's running right now on attraction. Both of them are. So sometimes that can cloud things. So I don't know like if they're a match for real or not. And the more I watch it, I'm like, I don't really feel like I know that much about Vernicia either. So hopefully like each episode, we'll get like a little bit of exposure to these guys, but to see like a little bit more of an exposure of who these women really are, except for Sharice, I don't care. Ashley is an interesting character. So speaking of, Ashley is torn between, oh, not Ashley. Sharice first. Donald showed up in the Louis Vuitton shoes, and so that's all she needed. Sharice talking about she liked the way he communicate. No, you don't, because y'all don't communicate. This dude thinks all he has to do is flash his money, and I'm sure that's what he is there for, to flash his money for all the lovely ladies in New Orleans. Not even you, Sharice. I think he's smart enough to know that he doesn't really like you that much. He said he already knew everything he needs to know. He don't have much of a personality. You don't have much of a personality. He's got a lot of money, I guess, enough to be buying you Louis Vuitton sandals and pedicures and stuff. A lot of women are attracted to the status, so he's an attorney, and she's gonna keep his goofy ass around because she's a materialistic girl, and she couldn't tell what types of labels that Walter was working with because he wasn't wearing them on his sleeve. So I think Walter was a nice guy. He just wasn't more appealing to them than the people that were already there, and Walter, much like Jabari, is a socializer. He's a musician, so it's hard to tell. Like, he just casually was married for 19 years, but it didn't work out, but I liked it a lot. So Walter, you gotta go. Sorry. Ashley has to sit down with Donald. She's so torn by what she should do to, what decisions she should make. She was very much attracted to Kirsten. Donald didn't text her for 2 days, and that's a big problem for Ashley. I'm not sure why, Ashley, but in the process of telling Donald whether he gets to go or whether he gets to stay, she gets overcome with emotion and has to get up and walk away because she's in tears again. And I think, Donald, run right now while she's out of the room. Just go. Just leave right now, because it's more than you can handle. Trust me. I don't know what's going on. She don't know Kirsten, and she don't know Donald. So whatever it is she's crying about can't have nothing to do with either one of them. Ashley is afraid of getting hurt. And unfortunately, when you allow yourself to become vulnerable and fall for someone, you set yourself up for being hurt. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. The person you love will hurt you. Not intentionally always, and it doesn't have to be in detriment. But when you care about someone, and I'm not even just talking about your relationship, I mean your children, your family, your brothers and sisters, when you love someone, you become vulnerable for them to hurt your feelings. So, you can't save yourself from it, Ashley. Do you want it or do you not want it? We don't know what she's going to do with Donald. I think she's going to kick Donald to the curb, unless she feels a little too insecure to take Kirsten. Because as much as she was telling him how fine he was, I didn't hear him say that about her. But he did say he had a good time, and the conversation flowed more. They did. They seemed like they were having a good time. She said that they were attracted to each other. I don't know that that's the truth, because, actually don't pause long enough to see what somebody got going on. She just jumps in, flips in, turns, cartwheels, and then she's somewhere crying because her feelings is hurt. So that's how I went off with a cliffhanger. I personally didn't need a cliffhanger, but that's what the big question mark is until, next episode. We're hanging on a ledge waiting to see if Anne actually is going to choose Donald or choose Kirsten. Then we see a preview of her on a date with some other dude that she's telling him how pretty his teeth is. Girl, y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll talk about this next. Let me see. So I'm 100% seriously trying to work on this schedule. So I'll be all up in the salon on Friday and Saturday. So I'm gonna try to get you ready to love, make a move on Sunday. Let's shoot for that. In the meantime, do that thing you do, child. See you next time. Bye.